Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Are we live now, Shrajita?
Yes, I think we can start the meeting.
Okay. All right. Well, a very warm welcome and good morning to everybody. I realize that for some people in the region, it is actually still quite early. And then for some people joining us today, it actually might be quite late in the evening as well. My name is Bo Damon from the FAO Regional Office for Asia and the Pacific. And it's my pleasure to welcome you to this short session this morning, organized in conjunction with the Asia Pacific Climate Week on Koronivia Joint Work on Agriculture, Transformation and Ambition in Food Systems in Asia and the Pacific. Shrajita, can we go to the next slide? Yeah. So our objective today, and we only have about 50 minutes or so, unfortunately, is to provide some support to countries in Asia and the Pacific to share views and experiences with Koronivia to date and identify opportunities for transformation in food systems and more ambitious climate action. This morning, I think we make an assumption that people who are joining the session today know a little bit of background about Koronivia. It is a decision that was taken by parties to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change to organize a series of discussions, workshops on specific topics related to agriculture in recognition of the importance of agriculture to achieving particularly food security, which is a specific element of the Framework Convention. Now, parties have been coming together over the past few years to discuss a number of topics related to agriculture and climate change. Obviously, because of the situation with COVID-19, that program of discussion, review, and negotiation has halted for some time. But at COP26 this year, parties will come together again to discuss the future for the Koronivia discussions and the outcomes of the various workshops and discussions moving ahead. And that's really what we are looking to discuss today, and to get views from parties here in the region about the importance of these discussions and where they might go in the future. Now, what we're hoping to get out of this short session is an improved awareness for those of us who aren't so familiar with what countries have been doing on Koronivia, of the process itself, the outcomes of key topics discussed over the past few years, and I think expectations for COP26 and Koronivia later in the year. Also, we're hoping to share country-specific views on opportunities for further work under the Koronivia process, but also specifically to promote transformation. This has become an important topic under the convention and in discussions around the agricultural sector and the need to move towards a more sustainable, resilient and low emissions agricultural sector. Transformation is becoming an important topic. So we're hoping to touch on some of those issues today as well. And then a big part of bringing countries from the region together is to identify opportunities and areas of common interest, through Koronivia or elsewhere, to promote ambitious change for climate action in agriculture. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start first with a perspective on Koronivia, the process to date and the outlook. From the lead negotiator of the G77 and China group, Ayman Amin. Ayman was unable to join us this morning, but he was able to prepare a video message for us. So we're going to hear from him. Hopefully the video everybody can hear okay.
Sorry, just checking. Can everybody hear the video?
No, we couldn't hear that one.
Okay. Sorry, can you hear now?
Yes, you can hear better, but the audio is a little bit unclear.
Very short. Okay, because my settings is on full volume. Apologies for the technical difficulties. I would like to thank China for giving me the opportunity to be with you, although it is not a live fixed and recorded message. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it live at the time, which will be very early in the morning. Once again, thank you so much. I know quite well that there is a lot of your agenda, so I will try to be concise and direct to the point and to give you a brief about exactly what we have done in Substa 52 and what we are expecting after from the date and what will be the final conclusion that we are opting for in COP26. In Substa 52, it was divided into three parts. The first part was the what we called New Zealand workshop, and we had discussed the first element of it, which was watershed management. And the second part, it was discussing the possible elements on item 2D and 2E. Item 2D was improved nutrient use and manure management, and item 2E improved livestock management. And I think that both of them, they are very critical for the most country members of the G77 and China. On the way forward on that, we had succeeded at G77 to have a common position, and we had submitted a common position on behalf of your states. And this common position was incorporated in the possible elements on item 2D in particular. And item 2E as well, most of our concerns in the submission was taken on board. Although the two submissions, of course, they are not final, only they are possible elements. Another open discussion will take place when we meet physically, I hope before COP26. If not, it will be during COP26 to have these possible elements into a decision by the subset. The thing that we were facing during the time that the difference in views, they were on the odds. And I know quite well from experience, it would be very, very difficult to reach a consensus during that time, but also, of course, we will try to make it. The items, the possible items that we've been discussing in the G77 and China concentrated on the 2D and 2E, on the financial mechanism and the role of the constituted bodies. Those were the first priority in order to materialize all the efforts forward to have a concrete implementation by the conclusion of the roadmap of Korea. The third part that we had in Substa 52 was only one session. It went for brainstorming on the way forward of Koronivia. What we had that, of course, the country members, G77 and China and others had expressed their views on that matter. And I heard today morning the NVT, Mr. Norwick from the EU. He were much more concrete on the views of the EU, although there is no final outcome of this vision. For the G77 and China, it is the same. We have three possible output elements that maybe we will find a hybrid solution among them at the end. The first was from the African group to have a constituted body or an expert group that can take Koronivia forward for further discussion parallel to implementation. Other one were from Uruguay and supported by Costa Rica and some Latin American countries. they were going through a way to find a dedicated financial mechanism inside the convention or even outside the convention under the GPF to get a financial window for implementation. The third one, it was an option to have a flagship program that we can concentrate on working the way forward towards implementation. I mean here by flagship program that you can have a specific element out of the discussions that we had starting from 2013 up to the conclusion of Koronivia roadmap to be selected for implementation according to the differences of agriculture systems in different regions around the world. And of course, in this part in particular, we know quite well that the mandate of SAPSA is to discuss agriculture and adaptation co-benefits as policy, which is mitigation. So we are adaptation centric, let's say so. And this is not, of course, goes in line with other Annex 1 parties, and definitely we can find a way to go forward towards that. So this is exactly what we've been doing in SAPSA 15. As an agreement, after we finished our meetings, we had reached the conclusion that the core group would be formalized out from 7 to 8 people in order to engage substantively with our colleagues from Annex 1 countries in order to determine the way forward. The names will be published in the 15th of July, I mean here by the mid of this month, so I am encouraging you, of course, to deliver for me 2 or 3 names from your group to represent ANGA, and of course we will be in contact with other Asian countries to get them on board. Having said that, I will move again what we are expecting in weeks to come. We have exactly 16 weeks from now up to the year COP26. We hope that the second part of the New Zealand workshop that I mentioned, it will be conducted physically in Geneva or in any other place that can welcome the parties, so that we can sort a lot of outstanding issues between parties and to try to concise the possible elements that we had agreed upon, if we have time, of course, for that. Of course, we are willing as well, if time allows, to give us opportunity to hold the another SB physically this year before COP26. I hope so, if time allows as well. But this is, of course, is not concrete. We don't know what will happen. A lot of countries still they didn't open the borders for the meetings, and I know that it will be very difficult. But we are opening for the best. Let's say we are opening for the best. Again, for the challenges ahead, we have a lot of things to be concluded in the timeline. We have to agree on the possible elements on item equity and item equity. We have to agree as well on the possible elements for the final conclusion on the Union workshop. This is the last workshop to conclude our roadmap. So this will take a lot of work, and at the end, we have to agree on a report that it will be presented to COP26 to see what we had attained by the end of the Koronivia roadmap. And this is what I mean here by implementation. It will take us through a very hard time. It will take us into difficulties. But what I'm asking you, Anga, that G77 and China needs your support, need you to be always united, need you always to be concrete on your views. We need more intervention from Asian countries, especially Anga. I think that you are the most organized subgroup in the Asian region. So I hope that we will see something be reflected during the discussion. Your submissions as well, they are much more valuable to us. So definitely we need you on board. And I hope that I can answer your question, but unfortunately this is a recorded message, like I said earlier. So please, I can get back to you if you tell me your questions on the G77 and China WhatsApp group, or through Ms. Dada by email. I'm glad, of course, to answer. You all wishing you good luck in your meeting, and I hope that I had answered specifically the questions that it was rolling around the corridors before the comment of your meeting. Having said that, thank you so much. Wishing you a successful meeting, and until we see each other physically, my heartful greetings from for all of you from Cairo. Thank you so much, and see you later.
Okay. So during that short introduction from Ayman, I think there was maybe one or two key things that he really picked up there. You know, while he provided a summary of discussions to date under the Koronivia Joint Work on Agriculture, I think he highlighted that there is still a number of things to be done. There is a number of options that parties have put forward as ways that maybe implementation of Koronivia might happen. Also, that I think he emphasized the importance of the meeting later this year associated with COP26 on Koronivia. And I think, most importantly, what he emphasized was that countries come to the meeting with a clear view on, what are their priorities? What are the country's priorities with respect to Koronivia, and share those views, with other parties. And it's with that in mind that we did invite a few countries from Asia and the Pacific to share their views, with the group here. I understand that these views may still be being formed, of course, in the lead up to COP26, but I think part of the purpose of the meeting today is to share views on Koronivia itself from across the region, and to better understand how different countries think about this specific process, and where it should go from here. So with that in mind, we have two speakers with us this morning, and I think I might start by asking Mr. Jigme Tenzin from Bhutan if he could provide some views on Koronivia. Thank you.
Very good morning. Hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to share some of our experience joining Koronivia Joint Work on Agriculture process. Just to share some of my experience, though I have not been involved for many years, involved from last a couple of years. Through this KJWA process, we get to exchange experiences and ideas among participating countries, and learn lessons in the food security in the face of climate change, mainly through dialogues and workshops. It is also an opportunity to raise country-specific and context-specific issues related to agriculture, food security, and socio-economic dimensions, especially in terms of improving soil carbon, soil health, fertility, sustainable land management, and watershed management, including livestock management. And we are able to include some of our submission in the parties made under SPI and SAFTA. It is also an opportunity for the capacity building mainly through the support of FAO and with the interaction with other international agencies. We also get an opportunity to connect with constituted bodies under UNFCCC and climate financing entities such as GEF, GCF, Adaptation Fund, etc. We are also able to connect with other countries to discuss common issues and ambitions. And we also get experiences and skills to actually formulate low emission development strategy for our country. Communication, BUR, and then NDC, National Adaptation Plans, policies, and strategies. While coming to the expectation from the Koronivia Joint Work, we get sorry, just uh, uh, our expectation is that agriculture and food security as an important sector under adaptation agenda items, considering the vulnerabilities of agriculture to climate change and need to address food security issues. And also, we have a stable platform that facilitated the exchange and transfer of suitable technologies to address adverse impact of climate change on agriculture and food security, and have access to climate finance to implement outcome of KJWA towards addressing food security issues, and also have a stable platform to raise issues and challenges related to agriculture, food security, socioeconomic dimensions, and livelihood of farming communities. And we would able to actually integrate indigenous knowledge with advanced science and technologies in future. This is from my side. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Digman. I think that was a very good summary of the key potential issues, and thank you for providing views on why Koronivia is important to Bhutan. You mentioned a number of important things: food security, obviously soil management, and also the relationship of climate change to the sector, and the particular importance of adaptation and resilience for agriculture and for agricultural livelihoods. I think also the opportunities that a process like Koronivia can provide in terms of capacity building, and also providing a way to, to share views on longer term strategies for low emission or climate resilient agricultural sector. I just wanted to also add, before we ask our colleague from India, Dr. Srinivasa Rao, to provide a view from India. Colleagues who are joining us this morning, if you do have your own perspective or on Koronivia, or if you had a question or comment on the discussions, please do use the chat and Q&A function. I'm sorry, I should have mentioned that earlier. I'm adopting the moderator role at the last minute here, but if you do have a question or a comment to make, then do make use of that function, and we'll try and monitor that and address your comment or question directly during the session. And with that, I'd like to hand it over to Dr. Rao for a view from India.
Thank you, Damin. And can I share? I have 2 slides.
Yes, of course.
So
we'll just stop sharing the slides here, and then we'll let you. There we go. We can see the slides. Okay, fantastic.
Thank you very much again for this opportunity, and nice to listen. Ayman, and who is lead negotiator for G77 plus China, and I had opportunity to participate in negotiation process for the last 7-8 years, and from 2014-15 onwards, I have been in agriculture. Along with that, and also WIM, loss and damages, and also adaptation. So these are the 3 important, which are related to, directly or indirectly related to agriculture. So specifically, thank you for this ANGA, Asian Network here, and for this transformation and ambition of food systems. So that is the topic. Very happy to participate. And as far as India is concerned, the 2 questions were asked here is that what does Koronivia mean to countries and their regions? Certainly, Koronivia process, in fact, before Koronivia also there were many important aspects were discussed, for example, early warning systems. But certainly Koronivia has added a lot of knowledge. We have exchanged global best practices, and we have highlighted, and we came to common understanding. So it really contributed to our overall understanding to make that, to see that overall agriculture and food system more resilient, more adaptive. As far as India is concerned, certainly India is a big country, and with a large, densely populated, we have 1.4 billion population here. Very, very highly, we have 7,500 kilometers of coastline, and all climate change impacts like floods simultaneously some part and droughts in other part are happening simultaneously. Very, very important challenge is Indian agriculture is 70 agriculture, around 70% of Indian population is directly or indirectly associated in agriculture sector. So it is so important, agriculture. And the important challenge is still 60%, 55 to 60% Indian agriculture is rain-fed agriculture, rain-dependent agriculture. Another important aspect of Indian agriculture is a smallholder farmers. 80 to 85% of the farmers are smallholders. So technology implementation and whatever knowledge we gained across the planet, implementation is a very, very important aspect and challenge. And our aim is to see to the resilient agriculture and food system, including food loss reduction. So combining these two aspects, we would like to see that agriculture is a more resilient for food security, nutrition, livelihood, sustainable livelihoods, and sustainable development goals. Majorly, we see agriculture is a climate resilient agriculture. Adaptation is a major focus for us. And what we are looking forward further, as our colleagues said, that Ayman and also Jigme from Bhutan also said that we look forward, and these negotiations, Koronivia is perhaps going to report to the COP26, which is expected, that we are really intensive negotiations now, and series of meetings are happening. But what Dr. Ayman said, that we wanted to see that Koronivia would like to have a greater opportunity further. That's what we mean, because many aspects, many challenges are there, particularly as far as India is concerned, and we have been participating in all the workshop, all the negotiation process. In fact, India has recently presented, before that also it presented, but recently in 2020, 2020, we have India as we made presentation socio-economic dimensions of food security, dimensions of climate change we presented. And what we are looking forward, particularly from Koronivia, is that how to weather prediction models and forecasting model systems under the transfer of technology. And when floods, droughts, heat waves are increasing and simultaneously happening, what are the technologies or transfer we are looking forward from developed countries to developing countries? Then as far as India is concerned, that implementation is a bigger issue. Though we know some of the technologies, but implementation to the larger extent, like we have 140 million farmers and 0.5 million villages, so majorly smallholders, and how to reach out these practices and implementing at ground level, village level, at farm level. So certainly we look forward to financial mechanisms, and most importantly, capacity building. The importance aspects which I indicated: modeling, forecasting of weather, and how to reduce loss minimization, and having crop in the field, and how to protect that crop. And before that, what can be a planned, well planning, and post-production losses. And these are the important expectations from under capacity building heading. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I represent Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare and working as a Director of National Academy of Agriculture Research Management. So thank you from my campus. This is my campus picture.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Rao, for, I think, a very concise but rich summary of the issues from the perspective of India, and for highlighting some key potential areas that Koronivia can, provide additional insight or can support countries with addressing climate change risks to agriculture. You highlighted the importance of resilient agriculture, and also the potential for food loss and waste, and also the role that Koronivia plays in terms of capacity building, potential for technology transfer and finance, also specific needs, I think, which are very interesting with regard to weather prediction models, which obviously have a range of applications for anticipatory action, but also for things like insurance, index-based insurance, which are important parts of risk management, I think, approaches for smallholders. So we've had some views from countries, and we've also heard about some very concrete opportunities coming from Koronivia for capacity building, some needs in terms of technical support. And what we wanted to do briefly was to hear from the partners who have come together to organize this session, from GIZ, from the Climate and Clean Air Coalition, from the Global Alliance for Climate Smart Agriculture, from the CGR Program on Climate Change, Agriculture and Food Security, and also the ASEAN Climate Resilience Network, just to hear very briefly from them about how they could also provide some support on specific technical needs, for example, those raised by our country colleagues here, or also providing support in the lead up to COP26 to provide a forum for countries to exchange views. So we have some colleagues here to talk to this particular topic. And the first person is myself, Bo Damon from FAO. I won't go into too much detail, but I just would like to say that from FAO's perspective in the region, one of the key roles of FAO is a convener organization and providing an opportunity for forums for countries to come together to talk about a range of issues related to food security, climate change being a very important pressing issue at the moment. And from the perspective of the organization, we will continue based on requests for support from countries, and in that regard, encourage countries who would like to be linked with other countries or providers of technical support to reach out to me or to the organization to provide that forum for exchange. I think over the past, since I came back to the organization 6 years ago, I've really been looking for a number of opportunities to help countries share views and exchange best practices and engaging with UNFCCC, and will continue to do so. Also in partnership with, with our colleagues here today from other development organizations, we've been supporting programs of work, specific technical activities with respect to strengthening agro-meteorological systems, for example, early warning systems and systems for anticipatory action. And we're working with a number of countries in the region on that. Also specific support with respect to NDCs and emission development. So all of this support, I think, is very much in keeping with the purpose of Koronivia, and in terms of finding areas that require additional support, technology transfer and finance. And again, I would encourage countries who are interested to, who have specific needs to be in contact with FAO at their country level, or indeed with myself at the regional level. And we stand ready to provide support. I think I'll leave it there. I think I've spoken enough this morning. We might move to the next colleague, who is Hannah Reuter from GIZ. Hannah, did you want to share briefly the support that GIZ can provide in the region?
Yes, thank you very much, Bo, and good morning to everyone. Yeah, thanks a lot for providing GIZ the opportunity to share some of our support that we provide related to agriculture and climate change. Let me maybe start by saying 3 words about the ASEAN Negotiating Group on Agriculture, because I heard that Ayman was mentioning this group in his recorded video message, but I didn't think we talked about this group any further afterwards. So the ASEAN Negotiating Group has been formed under the Association of Southeast Asian Nations in 2018 as a specific group who jointly promotes common positions from the ASEAN countries towards COP, specifically related to Koronivia. And GIZ, specifically my program on climate smart land use in ASEAN, together with the FAO, has been supporting this group from the very beginning. So this is also one of our major areas of support I wanted to highlight, and that we, similar like Bo said, I will definitely continue to provide. We have been supporting this negotiating group, ANGA for short, with different activities. We supported in coordinating among different national focal points across the region. We provided expertise about UNFCCC negotiations and provided support for building negotiation capacities of ASEAN stakeholders with a focus on Koronivia. This has led to ANGA being able to formulate common positions and communicate them effectively under the UNFCCC negotiations. We will continue this support, and just yesterday we talked about different options, what we could do, different activities we could support in the run-up to COP26, among others, providing platforms for countries to come together to formulate joint positions, and of course also to continue providing negotiation trainings. When it comes to the implementation angle of things, on the regional level, we provide platforms for technical knowledge exchange on a wide range of topics, also capacity building activities, and we always strive to forge collaborations between stakeholders in the countries and donors, researchers, and other entities who are engaged in the agriculture sector. We often act under the umbrella of the ASEAN Climate Resilience Network, or short ASEAN CRN, and for our activities we also cooperate again closely with organizations such as FAO, CCAC, and CCAS, who are also joining here today. Just 2 examples for activities we just recently supported. We hosted a regional dialogue on the nexus between COVID-19, climate change, and agriculture, and we organized the ASEAN Climate Leadership Program last year. Just 2 words more on GIZ's engagement on the national level. Of course, we have a wide range of projects who are operating in the countries itself, providing direct support to governments and local stakeholders in implementing, concretely implementing concrete approaches and technologies and promoting policy formulations in the countries. Our colleagues in the region and in headquarters are continuously exploring possibilities to support partners in the ASEAN region and to promote a climate smart agenda, resulting in new activities and projects every year. So please feel free to get in touch with me. I'm happily connecting you to the relevant colleagues in the countries if you want to know more about what's happening in a specific country, but of course also feel free to get in touch if you want to learn more about our support for ASEAN. Thanks a lot, Bo.
Thanks very much, Hannah. And now we have unfortunately, Simon was unable to join us physically or virtually for this meeting, but he did pre-record a message for us from the Global Alliance on Climate Smart Agriculture. Shajida, if you can put that one up.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for inviting me today, Dara. I had to send this pre-recorded video because here in Rome would have been 3 o'clock in the morning and I would have get probably in trouble with the neighbors. So thank you very much. I'm Simon Lieber, the coordinator for the Global Alliance for Climate Smart Agriculture, GACSA, which is a platform with more than 525 member institutions which includes NGOs, farmers, organizations, governments, private sector, and academia. As a bit of a background, I like to say what probably you all know, that Southeast Asia is one of the world's most vulnerable regions to climate change. And the Asian region has put in place policy measures on climate change. However, these need to be considered together with a range of practices and technologies, which aim to obviously increase resilience, enhance food security and productivity in a sustainable manner. GAXA continues to support the Asian region, and through Asian CRN, we continue to play an active role in the Koronivia process. So I've got three written down strategic opportunities. So the first one, climate smart agriculture it's vital for food security. The second one, GAXA provides a platform to promote climate resiliency through exchange of information, expertise, and experiences on climate smart agriculture, not just among the Asian member states, but also to share key lessons and success stories globally. Also, we are interested on the failures too. So this is why it's important. And the third one, just lastly, to ensure that the scientific community can engage with the policymakers and other concerned stakeholders through workshops, dialogues, and knowledge exchange events. In addition, GAXA communication support, it's carried out and well understood amongst policymakers. So through such practices, we hope there is a valuable contribution to the national data mining contribution and fit into the agenda set by the governments. So that's in a nutshell. Thank you so much for inviting us today, and I wish you a wonderful event. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. And then we also had, I think, Jana Koma from CCAFS.
Yeah, hello.
Hi, Jana. Yeah,
Hi, thank you very much for having me. My pleasure, and congratulations, first of all, to all this Koronivia work already done and lined up to be done. It's really fascinating, and we are here to support. And also, I would like to share some issues which are currently our priorities and which I heard throughout the presentation resonate probably very much with you. Apart from CCAFs doing specialized science on many things that you have mentioned, we are also currently helping to level the playing field in the global dialogues up to the COP and also the Food System Summit, and also grounding these in country-specific priorities and strategies. I just wanted to give one example. Just this week, the KJWA has led an independent food system summit dialogue in Vietnam, identifying key solutions for transforming local food systems. And the key issue, or one of the key issues, was to connect innovation networks in the country and with these across the world, and developing smart agriculture value chains with digital application. And this also by pledging support to the WEF initiative of 100 million farmers transitioning to a net zero and environmentally friendly food system. So, okay, but how to do that? And we are also in the WEF Innovation Level Group on technology and data. And we have learned, like, the basis of all innovation are best practices at all levels. And in that sense, we are currently crowding in support on three main action areas, which would be: one, to empower farmer-led knowledge and exchange platforms; then to accelerate farmer innovation by strategic incubation linked to national and local prioritization strategies; and then also to unleash finance through de-risking and addressing finance data lock-ins, including bankability, data interoperability, and cost monitoring. And this is all linked to the ambitious aim of making the unbankable bankable, and which on one hand now links back to farmer-led networks, which not only as ways to feed these with data, but also explore how these could be data points. and also how farmers can exchange their best practices to accelerate innovation, like in a bit of a TripAdvisor style. And also it points to bundle and match financial solutions that match farmers' livelihoods, especially when we talk about the most vulnerable. For example, tailoring KPI in a way that farmers also can deliver. And I think I would like to stop here. I could also give some examples of this work, but also I think currently Danush is reaching out to countries to support this call for action. So if you would be interested to also pledge support for this WEF initiative on 100 million farmers transiting to net zero and environmentally friendly food systems, I think you could contact me or directly Danush. Thanks.
Thanks very much, Anna. A very interesting line of work, and yeah, I think in terms of innovation and bringing data to this challenge of scaling up action on resilient agriculture. Fantastic insight. Our final partner is from the Climate and Clean Air Coalition, Catalina.
Yes, hello, good morning, and good evening from my end. Thank you for the invitation. I'm Catalina from the Climate and Clean Air Coalition. I'm pleased to be here, and I'd like to note that the coalition is an alternative form or governance model to tackling global climate change outside of the UNFCCC framework. And we are actually a voluntary partnership of 150 plus partners, including 71 plus state partners, of which 15 are in Asia and the Pacific, that are working to take action to reduce short-lived climate pollutants, including methane, which, as you may know, is a central ingredient in ground-level ozone. That is also an air pollutant. We also work on black carbon and hydrofluorocarbons across various high-emitting sectors, including the agriculture sector, as these are responsible for 45% of current global warming. So since 2014, we have been addressing the reduction of methane and black carbon from the agriculture sector, while also looking at contributing to food security, of course. And what we aim as well is to highlight the key benefits associated to reducing these short-lived climate pollutants in terms of how, when combined with significant measures to reduce CO2 measures, it has climate benefits that can help countries slow the rate of global warming below the 1.5 degree target by 2050. It has, by working on SLCPs, it has the ability to avoid 0.6 degrees of predicted warming in the near term. It also contributes to health benefits by preventing 2.4 million premature deaths per year. In terms of specific agriculture impacts, it avoids the annual loss of 50 million tons of crops per year that are otherwise affected by ground level ozone, and it also contributes to controlling sea level rise. And since 2014, we've been working on reducing methane black carbon from the agriculture sector, including from paddy rice sector, from livestock, which includes manure and enteric methane, and as well as focusing on promoting alternatives to agricultural open burning. Those have been our focus. I would like to mention that currently we're in a transition period. Just in 2020, we adopted the CCAC's 2030 strategy that focuses on 3 strategic priorities, including driving an ambition agenda that builds on our advantage as a convener. We bring together ministries of environment as well as ministries of agriculture, for instance, as we speak of this sector. We want to look at supporting national and transformative actions, working directly with our country partners, and we also want to advance policy relevant research and analysis. And right now we're actually working on a new engagement strategy for the agriculture sector that will build on the previous work that we've contributed to in partnership with GRA, with CCAFs, most recently with GIZ on the COVID impacts, and other strategic partners such as FAO, of course, that has allowed us to promote a data-driven approach to show our countries what is feasible, what are the mitigation options that exist that can contribute to multiple benefits, as well as to the reduction of emissions. And that sharing of learning across regions is extremely important to us. And what I would like to mention is that we recently launched a global methane assessment that actually demonstrates the feasible mitigation options, cost-effective mitigation options that exist that can help reduce methane emissions from the agriculture sector by 20 to 25% by 2030. So align with the 1.5 degree pathway, and also measures for black carbon. And what I specifically want to mention as an opportunity today is that we have launched a call for proposal under our action program for the 1.5 degree challenge. It's a call for proposal that assists countries to increase their efforts to tackle climate change and air pollution, since we really focus on an integrated approach, as well as enhance action on SLCPs and national emissions management programs and strategies. And the calls are for up to 100,000 to implement a project over 24 months. And we would be ready to launch these projects by Q1 of 2022. And the application process would be due by 31st of August. And what is extremely important to note is that it should contribute to the reduction of SLCP emissions while delivering on the multiple benefits and across our strategic priorities, and the opportunity to show how it contributes to a green and inclusive recovery. And of course, we seek endorsement from at least one national government eligible for official development assistance and submitted in partnership with at least 2 entities. So I think I'll stop there, but I'm happy to share the call for proposal here to all partners. And I do invite you to learn more on the CCAC website. So thank you very much,
Catalina. Thanks very much. It's great to know that that there's that direct support there available as well. I think just in summary, we heard from our colleagues Jigme and Dr. Rao, and also from Ayman, that there are linked to Koronivia a number of specific needs that countries are highlighting, and that they're through the short interventions from our colleagues here today. It's helpful to know that there are resources available. And I think an important message there is that to countries, to reach out and make sure that the partners are developing programs that meet your specific needs and the interests and priorities you've identified through the Koronivia process. We're a little bit behind schedule. We're going to wrap up just now. In doing that, I'll hand over to my colleague, Dada Bakudo from the ASEAN Climate Resilience Network. I don't know if anybody noticed, but Dada and I swapped roles today. So I moderated the session, hopefully relatively well, and Dada will have a closing word. So I just wanted to quickly thank everybody from our speakers, from the panel, for your interventions. I really appreciated them. Dada, did you want to come in?
Yeah. Thank you so much, Bo, for taking over, and apologies for me being late. This is the 7th session I moderated this week, so yeah, there is a confusion in my calendar. So thank you to everyone who has attended, and especially hearing about the South Asian experiences, and for joining us today. The experiences that we listened to today, as a convener for the networks in Southeast Asia, I feel that it mirrors the realities faced both by the Pacific and the Southeast Asian experiences, whom we are sorry to have missed today, but it does mirror the experiences that we are also facing, which truly magnifies the need for us to go together and prepare for the 16-week left leading to COP26. And as some of you might know, for COP26, there are results expected of us. Do we end the discussions on Koronivia at COP26? Do we put agriculture in other streams of discussion? Do we create yet another expert group on agriculture under UNFCCC as a permanent constituted body. So there are several options, and as we speak right now, parties are preparing for which directions to take or how to bring forward Koronivia or agriculture under climate change negotiations. So as we speak, parties are reflecting and looking at all the other options of where is the best efficient way to put agriculture within the climate change negotiations. But what is clear, and more importantly, how to move towards the implementation of the many views gathered by Koronivia to put it in their work plan. But what is clear, speaking from the Southeast Asian perspective, is that entities like the ASEAN Negotiation Group and the ASEAN Climate Resilience Network has produced enough bodies of materials, same as the South Asian experiences we heard today, that can already be implemented. And in fact, we have taken a step closer to implementation of Koronivia by submitting just a month ago with support from FAO the readiness, a multi-country readiness proposal that will hope to align and create business plans of agriculture priorities and align it with climate change frameworks. So this is something that we hope Koronivia will look at as a flagship program. We don't know, but we hope it will be seen as that. And so we really hope that this proposal will be looked at positively by the GCF as it involves 6 countries of Southeast Asia. And as we continue to work with partners who are in the room, such as CCAC, FAO, especially the GIZ, Climate Smart Land Use Project, and our long-standing partner from here, the CCAPS program of the CGIAR group, and even from a distance, but still getting closer, the Japan Ministry of Agriculture. But what we are seeing right now is that there is a gap in the discussions. We've heard that there are many support and programs offered by our partners, but there's also a gap with the policymakers and a lag on how and when they're going to understand and really take the position of where they're going to go. And we hope that the opportunities presented here will make it easier to close this gap and provide guidance to parties as to the options they really wanted to take and put forward for the implementation of Koronivia. And so with that, we really hope that there's a closer working relations with the development partners that we've encountered here and the parties who have signed up to the UNFCCC and that are looking forward to the implementation of Koronivia. So thank you very much, Bo, my apologies, and thank you to everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great remainder of the day or end to your day. And we hope to see you in a discussion soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Have a good day.